What up, though? It's your host, Troy Justice, and this is Imported Athletes and Travel Podcast. And as usual, I got my boy, the All Star, Yodai Nakamura, in the building. What's up, man?
Shades, my CSAC frog shades from Finkstonball 2025. My roommate walked in and he goes, man, you look like that really like one really strong Asian poker player at the table. I would not want to play at your table. But thank you for the All Star nod. The reason why I couldn't go through with my verbal commitment was Finkstoball 2025 and the Czech Extra League All Star game landing on the same weekend, and had to choose one or the other.
Tough
And
choice.
very tough choice, very tough choice. But luckily, I knew enough people at Finkstoball. Actually, Mike Denton, Eddie Murray, Alex, all of them were actually in Prague last night, today, partied up with them. They filled me in on all the details. So
You're up to
at the
speed.
end of the day, this past weekend, whether it's Finkstonball in Austria or the Extra League All Star game in the Czech Republic, at the end of the day, European baseball wins.
Yes, it does every time.
Do I need to keep these on, man?
I mean, you can. Let me shout out my glasses, and then we can take them off.
That's right. That's right. You gotta.
So my boy Russ, he is a brand ambassador for these sunglasses called Poppy. Shameless plug, but these boys are nice. I helped him put a little video together, and he threw me a pair, and they slide up like this.
Well, gargoyle style,
You
mate.
feel me?
You reckon?
You reckon?
Ooh.
So shout out to Russ, shout out to Poppy. Good glasses right here. I'm gonna be rocking these the rest of the season. Yeah, the frogs. The frog. It look if there was a trophy for who had the most fun, the frogs would have all of them every year. They
I keep hearing.
yeah they were celebrating their 25th year in Finkstonball. They put up with the glasses. Everybody named Mama had a pair of them glasses on. The kids, the fans, everybody. I got a pair somewhere around here. They threw me some. Shout out to the frogs.
So 25 years of Finkstonball or the
Yep.
frogs being in Finkstonball for 25 years?
Did you just say the same thing twice? No,
No, no, I mean
the
like
frogs have
25th.
played in 25 Finkston balls.
Okay, so like the Finkstonball itself is like more than 25, but the frogs being in Finkston, this is their 25th time.
I think so. I think the frogs have only I've heard, and this is just what I heard in the streets of Atnang is that the frogs only missed one, and I think the one they missed was like the very first one.
All right, so there's our answer. The frogs have been in 25 of them, and there's been 26 Finkstonballs.
They've been running up a check with these, but I think maybe I don't know. I feel like there had to be more because Dave used to play in these. So because it's 2025 right now, we're gonna have to we're gonna
We're
have
gonna have
to
math.
yeah, I'm gonna have to make a phone call to somebody to because I don't want to spread
Well, I think
misinformation.
actually no, the maths right here. The math is mathing because I think Burnsy's first season in Europe was 1999. He was actually
Oh,
kind of like one of the masterminds behind Finkstoball. So I kind of heard this story because I coach at that Atnang summer camp every year, and
yeah.
very close at the front office. But so that Finkstonball holiday, right? It's an actual holiday. It's an Austrian holiday called Finkston, but it's spelled weird. It's like Pfing, whatever
Yeah.
German stuff, but you pronounce it Finkston. So Bernsey, being the only English speaking guy that he is, was like, why not just make it simple, like Finkston,
Yeah.
and like turn it into a tournament? But no, the math is mathing. So if the Frogs only missed one, so that would be 2000. But then Bernsey was there like the year before 1999. No, maths. The math is mathing.
Okay.
I'm Asian. I got this, man.
My human calculator.
You're welcome.
Dude. No, it was crazy. This is my third Finkstonball. Spoiler alert. We won it again, four in a row. Um,
Was it? No, you've been. Which one did you miss?
I
Because we
missed
were at the.
I missed last year.
Oh, okay, okay. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I was there for the first one and the second one. Missed last year, back for the fourth. It was fun, man. It never missed. We got there, the sun was shining. We had the very first game of the tournament. It was us against our good old friends of the North of baseball. Shout out to them. They got some great coaches over there, man. Really cool guys. I see them pretty much everywhere. I see them in Slovenia, see them up at Finkstonball. We've seen them at Prague Baseball Week too, back when we played in that.
I
Uh,
even saw them at Prague Baseball Night last week. We'll talk about that later, but
oh yeah, yeah,
saw
they're
them at
they're up
Duplex.
there. Good group of guys, man. Good group of guys. Um, yeah, it was fun. Then they had the live music and they let the players do karaoke.
Ooh.
That was such a good idea. Whoever came up with that, kudos to you because that was perfect way to have entertainment and get the people involved. And everybody went up there. The softball players, the baseball players, everybody. It was a huge karaoke party that first night, and it was jumping. Um, it's so nice because like we met at this tournament and I got to meet a bunch of new faces. And because of the podcast, people were coming up to me left and right that I didn't know or maybe like follow but didn't know too well. And all of them were just like, "Yeah, I'm friends with Yoda. I've been telling him to get me on the podcast."
I know exactly who said that too.
we
Not going to drop names on here, but I know exactly who said that.
so there's the list of guests just got even bigger after this tournament. So I met so many cool people, more imports from. I met a softball player from New Zealand playing with the ex-girlfriends, and I was just like, wow. I don't think I've ever met a softball import from New Zealand playing in Europe. So you never know what you're gonna get when you go there. Just
Was she at all related to Dom, who we had on our show a couple shows ago? She was in New Zealand too,
yes,
I think.
she knows Dom, and she's
Of
playing with the
course.
she's playing with the Panthers in Switzerland, who Dom also played for. So small
Oh,
world.
Kimmy's team, the Wittenbach or whatever, the Wittenbach Panthers.
Yeah,
Dude, I swear, man, whether it's Finkstonball or Prague Week, I mean, even my Czech All Star game, dude, because it's like, just for a very short period of time, just a bunch of ball players from all over come to this one place. And, dude, those like detective shows or like crime shows where they have like that bulletin board and they have like a bunch of faces and they like connect the
the string.
dots?
Yeah, yep.
European baseball, dude, you never know where the dots connect, man. It's
No,
beautiful.
they connect all over the world, man.
Seriously.
I'm trying to remember the next day we had the frogs. Man. So Eddie, the Mr. Shooter's League, he got his guys on with the frogs. And once you get initiated as a frog, they go hard in the paint. We had a tough game against them, man. I hit a home run, my first Finkstonball home run, and I don't think anybody got it on tape, unfortunately. But
Did you keep your shoulders closed?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw the ball, and then the rest of it was like an out of body experience. Next thing I knew, I was watching it go into the trees. Almost forgot to run. Um, but I think I did. I think I did.
Damn, who taught you that?
I don't know. Maybe Yodai did. Possibly. Maybe. No,
Maybe.
no, man. I've been working on the swing with you. Coach Scotty gave me Coach Scotty gave me a pointer like the game before. about my timing. And then like my very next at bat was that first one against the Frogs. I hit a home run. And also another crazy thing, we had a bat girl the first game, and she told Braxton to hit a home run. Then he hit a home run, and then she looked at me and was like, "You next." And then the next day I hit a home run. So I don't. The universe is crazy like that.
You can, I've never met him in person, but here's another dot that we can connect. Braxton, I believe, is a Vegas kid. I think he was a freshman when I was a senior when I was studying in the States in Vegas. If you drop my name, he may or may not know me.
Oh wow. Dude, yeah, when I met him and his girlfriend was playing softball for Atnong, and he was telling me how much he liked the podcast and uh, how cool it was, and I'm like, yo, this is awesome because I didn't know he was listening to the podcast, so I'm happy that we're doing this. I'm happy to be able to go to Finkstonball and meet all these people that are part of our community. So yeah, man, I wish you could have been there, but you had a great excuse to not be there, man. Tell us about this All Star game.
Yeah, shout out to anybody, any of the listeners of this, and also, people in the Czech Republic that follow the Extra League. Also, a couple people I brought it up to. The Extra League All Star game is cool, man. It's not like part of it is like picked by the coaches, but they do like a fan voting. They have like a website, kind of like the MLB All Star Game fan voting, and I was fortunate enough to get voted into the game, voted in as a starter. So the Czech All Star game is the Czech national team versus the Extra League All Star team. So like the best of the Extra League plays the Czech national team, and this is also the same national team that will be competing in the next WBC next year. Um, Great competition, obviously, but the story behind where it was held is actually really amazing. It's a second division club called Skokany Olomouc. They just completely renovated their entire ballpark just for this weekend,
Oh wow.
and I saw some before and after pictures of the ballpark. But man, dude, like if you I'm sure you can find pictures and clips on baseball check social media, but like we had a jumbotron in right field, fully padded walls, a big hitter's eye in center field. I
Oh
think the
wow.
final count was, I think we had like 940 fans at this game. Yeah, so
They
a lot of
showed they
fans.
sh- they showed out and showed up for y'all.
It showed out, showed out. I think our game was televised on Czech TV too, like Czech national television. The fans came out rowdy. They had like drums, they had some trumpets. Dude, the atmosphere was electric, man. Unfortunately, the Czech national team did beat us, but just an absolute honor to be chosen as one of the all stars of this league, and just to be able to experience something cool like that. Definitely a memory that I will never forget. And it's funny because the amount of crap I got about not being able to go to Finkstonball was pretty immense, considering there were three guys who went from the All Star game to Finkstonball the next day. Shout out Russ, Max, and Malconian. But I think it was Max. Max straight up told me, "Hey man, if you don't come to Finkston, I'm gonna replace you as the co-host of Imported Podcasts." I'm like, "Oh, you wish you could. You wish you could."
Uh-oh.
But even at the All Star game, man, like even within our inner circles, like our boys, like the RJs, the Russells, all of them, they were like, "Man, you got to get me on the podcast," and they'd be like, "Dude, your podcast actually kind of taken off." So even in the Czech Republic, man, we got some viewers, listeners. Like they're very thankful for how
Oh
this all
yeah.
has been going. And then at the All Star game this past weekend, and then Eddie, the Mister Shooter, and a couple of the Shooters League guys were actually in Prague yesterday. and we did a Prague baseball night. So since Prague Baseball Week, we always talk about it over on our show. They only take national teams now, so they aren't letting like club teams play in it. You know, like the BBJ Globetrotters or International Stars. Like they're only taking national teams in, so obviously we can't play in it. But Eddie goes, you know what? We can't play in it, but we're in Prague. Let's stay at the same hotel. Let's do the same shenanigans that we do during Prague Baseball Week, but let's do it in one night and call it Prague Baseball Night. And yeah, the night ended at 6:30 breakfast at the Panorama Hotel. Best breakfast in Europe. Yeah, I mean,
The Croissant Club was back.
the Croissant Club was back. After a brief hiatus, the Croissant Club was back. Man, you should have been there, dude. You, me, and Paulie, we were the Croissant Club.
You want to explain the Croissant Club to the people wondering what that is?
So the Panorama Hotel breakfast, it's like a continental breakfast buffet, but on steroids. Like everything is cooked fresh, and they have like fresh baked bread, like a grand selection of it. I believe it started at Prague Week 2023. Me and Polly, obviously, you know, after the night out, we make it just in time back to the hotel for breakfast, and we're talking about the night, collecting our breakfast. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make a lot of breakfast croissant sandwiches. He's like, wow, that sounds amazing. So I think we crushed like five breakfast sandwiches each, but we were critiquing each other on each sandwich we made. Like, do you think like bacon, cheese, a little tomato with like Thousand Island dressing would be good? We're like, ooh. And then, you know, we eventually kind of started busting down business ideas of starting a croissant breakfast sandwich place in Europe. And then the next day, Troy joined us at breakfast, and we kind of bullied him into this croissant club stuff. He was also making sandwiches too, and we're like, man, we got
I
to make
love a
this.
breakfast sandwich.
We got to make this a tradition. And sure enough, that was the last Prague week we were allowed to play in. So
Man, I can see that croissant now.
oh, it was good, man. But also at the same time, I was talking with Mike Denton. You know, shout out Mikey because he was at Prague Week 2022 with I keep forgetting the team name, dude. It's not the ex presidents. Old World, Old World.
Old world baseball, yeah.
So he was there, and you know, he experienced the Panorama Hotel breakfast, and you
Oh
know,
wow.
but if you really think about it, man, the breakfast setup on that floor between our first Prague Week 2022 and 2023. I don't know if you remember, but do you remember it kind of like got flip flop? Like they kind of moved everything around and it was like,
Yeah, because that first room, that's where everything used to be. And I remember getting food and not knowing there was another room. And I'm sitting here
yeah,
like,
yeah.
where y'all getting these croissants from? And I'm like, oh, it's another room. Like, there's another room. Then the next year, the main room was the other room. And the other in the room we were in last year was kind of like overflow space or whatever.
Yeah, so
Oh,
this year, the other room was the main room, and the main room was the other room, and the other main room of the other room was like another other room. What I'm trying to say is every time I eat breakfast at the Panorama Hotel, it's a different
it's a
layout.
different room.
Even 2021, man, even the OG PBW with the international stars, like that one versus our first one with the Globetrotters in 2022. I'm like, look, I know that I usually come to breakfast in not the best state, but I know when a room is different. I know when the layout is different.
Right.
So I think that's our homework. We gotta find out if the panorama like how often the panorama hotel changes the layout of the breakfast buffet.
Yeah, we got to send the email.
I think we do. To whom it may concern.
Dude, the guy. So Sunday, it rained like
I saw that. I
it
saw that.
rained. We're supposed to play at 1 o'clock. We ain't played till like 6. They canceled the semis. So how the setup works is the top two teams from each pool play in the playoffs. So the top team from pool A will play the second place team from pool B and vice versa.
So it's
Since it
like a
rained,
1-2, 1-2, and like 1-2, 1-2 kind of.
yeah. So since it rained, they was like no semi. Top two of the pools go to the ship.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's how they got the tournament back on schedule. So we were undefeated, and the ex presidents was undefeated. And that was who we were supposed to play Sunday. So that went from our last pool game because with our record in the regular format, we'd have both win because we'd have been top two. But that
Mm.
quickly turned into a must-win game like that. And that's when the Prague guys showed up, and kind of thankfully the rain delay gave them more time to get in and get settled and get ready to play. Um, yeah, the, the ex presidents, man, they weren't playing around. They weren't playing around. I have a boomer quote for you from the ex
Boomer.
presidents game. Yes, shout out boomer. So Malco Matthew, he goes by many names. He was up. He was pitching, and the theme of the ex presidents is that they're all Swiss Americans. So they're either like have Swiss heritage or they're Americans that live in Switzerland. So each person has like on their jersey, they have the name of a president on the back, and their number is the number of which they were the president of the United States.
So
So
like Washington won, like
yeah,
Lincoln 16, or like stuff like that.
yeah. So Lincoln was up. Lincoln was up,
Number
and
16.
yes, and Boomer goes, Matty Wilkes Booth, assassinate him.
Oh no.
Oh, dude, I I've never laughed so hard at a baseball game off of a history pun before. But if you know Boomer, he's gonna make you laugh one way or another.
If you know Boomer.
Yeah, man. I actually caught for Boomer when we played against the Frogs.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun, man. I
Now
also
you
got I also got the catch for the what award did he win? I think it was the best pitcher award.
oh, Topper.
Topper won it, yeah, but I forgot. I think that's the name of the award. But he won an award for his pitching, and I didn't realize how good he pitched because Topper is a guy that throws a lot of junk. Like he came in the dugout like the inning before, he was like, "Do you want to hear the pitches now, or do you want to hear them out on the field?" And I was like, "Just tell me now. My memory sucks anyway, but just tell me now." He goes, "One is a sinker." I'm like, "What?" Like when people say they throw a lot of junk, like yeah, but like I've never heard one not be a fastball. So he names all these pitches, and I'm just like, this is not going to be fun because if you're a catcher, you know it's easier to catch a pitcher that you caught before that you
Oh,
train with
absolutely.
forever. But I haven't even played catch with this man, and he's going through his pitches and he threw me this 12-6, man. I went to go catch it, it hit the bottom of my glove and hit me in the quad, and I'm like, oh my god. And like the game's on the line, like it's close, like it's like 4-3, and he comes in and I'm just like, bro, I cannot miss this ball, like none of these. And he threw me this 12-6 for the first batter. And he swung and missed for strike three. And it like hit the plate and I dropped down to block it and it bounced over me and went into the net and went through the net of the
Hmm.
backstop. And I'm just like,
Like burned a hole in the net, or like
yeah,
found a hole, or
I don't know what magic trick Topper did with that ball.
hey, check the spin rate. Hey, check for sticky stuff in the spin rate.
Dude, his no, the ball wasn't sticky, but his spin rate is ridiculous. And then I looked in the dugout, I'm like, this stuff is disgusting. And everyone was laughing. But he K'd like seven people and didn't give up any runs. And we won an extra, man. And I was like, phew. I didn't realize how good he did and all the people he punched out because I was so stressed out about catching this 12-6 that I wasn't thinking about anything else. So shout
Man,
out to Topper. He threw a gem. All of our pitchers did very well.
you need pitching to win a championship, especially those like short, like the short tournaments, like the short burst tournaments.
Oh yeah. Four
Yeah,
games in 4 days. Well, it should have been five
exactly.
games if they
Well,
canceled the semi. So that's even more pitching you need. So yeah, man.
no, I could totally relate to that because I had the same thing where it's an all star game, so it's like I'm catching guys from teams in my league that we face, but as a hitter, I don't catch them. I face them as a hitter. And mind you, these are like some of the best pitchers in the league. So it was really cool to like get to, catch them and stuff. But man, first pitcher that I caught, he goes, "All right, you ready for the signs?" I'm like, "All right, hit me." He goes, "All right, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, split, cutter, knuckle change, sidearm fastball, sidearm slider, rising dragoon forkball." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, time out. I only got 5 fingers, bro. I only got 5 fingers."
Oh my God.
And here we have, a guy who's obviously nasty with all these pitches. And I gotta, even though it's only for like 2 innings, I'm like, I gotta catch this guy against the Czech national team on a nationally televised game. So we had like 9 different signs, man. And, the 2 innings are done. And then who I caught the next 2 innings also has like 7 different signs. But lucky for me, I caught him 2 years ago in Germany. He was my teammate. Shout out Roland Ochoa. We led the Wild Farmers to the best season they ever had. So I've caught him before, and I
Okay.
remembered all 7, 8 signs that he uses, and
Okay.
yeah. So it was like good to be able to catch an old friend again. But I'm like, man, my finger's tired, dude. Because like I'm not just doing like the traditional this. I'm like doing this and this and this and,
Oh man.
and this and then the fifth inning when the third pitcher came in, that was my last inning playing in that game. And I'm like, all right, what you got? He goes, fastball, slider, changeup. I'm like, thank you, easy, three
Praise.
pitch man. Let's go.
Love that.
Yeah, man, it's always a headache.
It's tough being a catcher, man. People don't know. I had to lug that big old bag from the Netherlands through Slovenia up through Austria, then back to the Netherlands. Dude, I flew in and out of Vienna, right? I get back to the Netherlands and I try to take a train back to my house. The railroads on strike, bro.
Oh no.
There's no way for me to. The only way I was able to get home is I would have had to take like 6 public buses, and it would have took like 4 hours. Mind you, it's like an hour drive. So luckily, my host family came and scooped me. But man, I was
Oh,
sweating bullets.
that's clutch. Nah, luckily for me, my travel was smooth. The federation said they'll reimburse us for our whatever our travel fees were. And I went up with the assistant coach of the All Star team, who's the head coach for Kolarska Praha, right down the street from us. Shout out Wes Romer, known him for going on 5 years now. And yeah, we discussed like, hey, how should we get there? And he goes, hey, man, if the federation is going to reimburse us, might as well ball out. So for the first time in my life, got to ride business class on this train.
Nice.
Reclining seats, free food, free drinks. Yeah, but both ways, man. I think the way there, the train got delayed 30 minutes, and then on the way back, I think it got delayed like another 20 minutes. But outside of the delays, it was a very smooth ride. We were knocked out on the way back home for sure.
How long was the train ride?
2.5, I want to say.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, so it
In
wasn't too
business
bad.
class, yeah.
Then it takes us to the Prague Central station, where we always meet up with the Globetrotters meetup spot, and that's where the Metro C is, or C, the Red Line. And I live right on the Red Line, so it's like I'm like, hey, this is where we always meet up with the Globetrotters for Prague Baseball Week.
Oh yeah, that's where the Boomer tour starts.
That is where the Boomer Tour starts. Yeah, as long as you don't fact check it, it's a great tour.
Is better if you don't fact check it.
Some things are better left off. Like, what is it? How does the quote where like some things are
Some things
better
are
left
better
off
left unsaid.
or unknown?
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss. We all
Ignorance is a bliss
story.
indeed. Man, so going back to that topic of Finkston, man, like obviously this was what your third Finkston, and you've been around the Trotters, like actually going to like Trotters events more because unfortunately, like my schedules hasn't really allowed me to like be around the Trotters. But how was the group this year? How are some of the newbies this year?
It was kind of awkward because a lot of them it was their second Finkstonball and they didn't know who I was and it was my third. But per usual, the vibes were high. Everyone was mad cool. A lot of them knew each other from last year, and I came and met a lot of them for the first time, and everyone was really cool. We all clicked. You know how it goes. Everyone just really supportive. Everybody was cheering for each other and just happy to be there for real. And we played very well together, even though we just met some of us and the vibes really good. We had like a MLB amount of coaches on that staff. We had Dave, we had Jimmy, we had Scotty managing, and we had a new coach, Ben. What's Ben's
Benny
last name?
Morris, Benny
Ben
Morris from
Moore.
Australia.
He was on the staff too. He's a great guy, great coach. It was nice to have him around. We got two Aussies, a Canadian and a American on the staff. So that was fun. And I can't forget Boomer. Boomer was on the coaching staff too. And he pitched.
Boomer is Boomer. Boomer is a separate entity that doesn't
Yeah.
identify as anything.
So yeah, we had a good staff um leading us through. So yeah, man, it was a great experience. Definitely didn't want it to end. Definitely planning on going back next year for sure.
Man, I'm actually thinking about throwing my own team in there next year.
You better get to it because it take a lot of
Calling
planning.
calling all Japanese imports in Europe, or you know what? I'll be nice. I'll be nice. I'll be like the WBC. Anybody with Japanese heritage, I'm calling you guys. We ain't good enough to beat Shohei and all them to make the Japan national team. So we'll make a national team at Finkstonball.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. I got the team name already picked. I can't say it on here because we got to keep it a surprise for next year. But
Can't wait, man.
Man, I'm saying this right now, but am I really gonna go through with this? This already sounds like a lot of planning.
Dude, you're already behind, bro. You might have to
Man,
plan for 2027.
2027. You know what? We got to start our own legacy. Hopefully, I'm still around for our 25th Finkston anniversary.
Dude.
Man, how crazy is that though? 25 of 26 Finkston balls.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
So was it like all the similar teams as usual? So it was like the Trotters, the Frogs, the ex-presidents, the Vindica, whatever they're called,
India.
from Croatia,
Yep. India was there. We played them in the final.
and then the North.
Yep.
We're missing one. Are we missing one?
The Red Wolves. We
Budapest. Yeah, they're there. They're there a lot.
and the Flyers were there.
Oh, from Switzerland.
Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. Man, similar faces. I think we need some new faces in there.
No, I hadn't played in one with where the Flyers were in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a new name I haven't heard in a while. Well, obviously, like I know the name because
Yeah.
of all the teams in Europe, but I've never heard them associated with Finkston.
I've seen them in a Finkston before. Like I've seen like pictures and like old stuff. So they've been in it before, but I'm not
Okay,
sure what
okay.
year that was. But they had a pretty good squad. They had some nice uniforms. That blue and white was crisp.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. And then the softball side, we had Regensburg, we had the Metro Stars, the Chicklets, the ex-girlfriends were back.
They're always there.
Am I missing somebody? I feel like I'm
Oh,
missing.
we're missing. We forgot Atnang on both sides. Atnang was in
Oh well,
baseball.
yeah, that's a given. They're the
Yeah.
hosts. Yeah, I think they
I'm
only had
guessing they had
7.
softball too. Softball,
Yeah,
Atnang in there too.
yeah, yeah. I think that was all the teams in softball. Bro, the softball games were electric. Oh my god.
Oh, did you guys watch from the Tiki Bar?
We watched it from the Tiki Bar. It was Adnan against the ex-girlfriends. Dude, it
Ooh.
was it was intense, man. The girls were making these crazy catches. And it had just rained like earlier that day, so they're sliding across the wet grass, making these catches and plays, and throwing people out. And yeah, I saw a couple triples in there, and I'm like, man, yeah, it was fun to watch that game,
And to quote Eddie, all roads lead to the Tiki Bar.
man. Dude, that tiki bar is a work of art, and the food's good, and the vibes, and they got the TVs in there. You can see the stats. You can look at the softball game, the baseball games on the screen, and you can see both fields from there. It's the perfect place to be at a Finkstonball. If you don't want to move, you just sit your chair at the. You can get a drink, food, baseball behind you, softball in front of you, bathroom right there. There's no other place to be.
That Tiki Bar is awesome, man. I was very fortunate enough to be at the grand opening of that Tiki Bar 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, my first season in Europe, I was in Austria. So now they have lights, right? The online field has lights,
Yeah.
but as part of the construction process to put the lights in there, they couldn't use that field. So when we played Atnang when I was in Austria my first year, we couldn't play in Atnang. We had to play at the neighboring in Wales. In Wales, yeah. So we were playing in Wales, and then we were able to, second time around play, not the lights were ready, but the Tiki Bar was going through like its final touches. Now, that season, the Bulls didn't make playoffs. So our season ended at the end of July. And then the very next week, the first week of August, was when Atnang had their, notoriously famous summer ball camp. Two of their coaches tested positive for COVID, and they needed like two coaches like pronto, like immediately to like go take their spots over. So me and Coach Fook got invited to go coach that. Now, we coached the camp during the day, and in the evening time, we helped run the Bundesliga practice for the athletics because they were getting ready to play in the playoffs. And, at the end of the camp ended on Friday, but the athletics front management, they were kind enough to, book us a room 2 more nights. They're like, hey, like, thank you so much for helping with the camp, like on such last minute notice, and thank you for helping with getting the team ready for the playoffs. Like tomorrow at the game, all you can eat, all you can drink, and we got you guys another room. Like it's on us. We're like, sweet. And that was the grand opening of the Tiki Bar.
What?
That was the grand opening.
Dang. So you was front row at the
I was
Tiki
front
Bar
row. Well,
day
I
one.
don't know if front row is the right word, but like like I was. I mean, we were there. We were grilling and we were watching the games, and nah, it was fun, man. That Tiki Bar is awesome.
That the Tiki Bar, man, that one of a kind. That thing is nice.
The best part too is when we do the Anang summer camps. We have every Wednesday is like a coach's slow pitch softball night. So once we get all the kids, like we return them to the dorms and like put them in bed, the coaches will go meet up at the softball field, and like a couple of the local natives of the Anang Puchheim area will come join us, and we'll just play like a pickup slow pitch softball game. But the tiki bar's open all night. Then once the game's over, we'll just do a barbecue, drink some beers, have a good time at the tiki bar. I'm telling you, man, every team needs a tiki bar.
Yes. You have room for one, get one.
Do you know the origin story behind that?
No. What how did the Tiki Bar? Well, I know that because I was talking to some guys that have been around a while. They were telling me how that field back there didn't exist at a certain point in time. So I would imagine that, that field was there and they're like, I don't want to walk across a baseball field to get a beer. So they're probably like, Tiki Bar, as I'm assuming is how it went.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that had to be a part of it, but no. So like, the people in the front office of Adnag Athletics, they would go visit like spring training in the USA, and I think what is it, the Gulf Coast League, the spring training league in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one of the teams out there had a tiki bar during spring training, and they're like, dude, this is awesome. We need one in Austria. So they just took this idea home from spring training in Florida and then just brought it straight back to Austria, Atman Puchheim, out of all places.
They had the room for it though. That worked out perfectly.
They did. They did. I would say that's like also probably the perfect club to have a tiki bar too. I mean, I know I just said that every club needs a tiki bar, but the vibes around that club and the
Yeah.
vibes around that facility. It's very baseball oriented. Like
Yeah.
their canteen in the clubhouse has like I think every 30 teams like caps, banners, like old posters. Like they
Oh yeah.
love their baseball there.
Oh yeah. It's decked out in there. They got all the pennants on the wall. They got the trophies, everything. They had like two flat screens in there. One on ESPN, the other one on MLB Network. We're in there during the rain delay watching who are we watching? We're watching Mexico play. I want to say it was the United States in the WBC or something.
Oh, was it like a old game, like a
Yeah.
ring of it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, they love their baseball, man. They got a nice grandstand. They like during the during the Finkstonball, they you know how like at MLB games they like do stuff with the crowd, they give stuff away and play games and all that stuff. They were doing that at Finkstonball. They were having um potato sack races and they were hitting beach balls around and they were giving stuff away and they were really into it. They had the announcers and everything, the music playing, like they really were creating a real ballpark experience. And I was doing interviews and giveaways for baseball jobs overseas, and I was sitting with some of the frogs doing the interview during one of the Adnan games, and they were like playing a little trumpet, and people were like cheering and screaming in the middle of my interview, and I was just like, I feel like I'm at a ballpark back home.
Nah, they know how to do things right, man. Like speaking of that atmosphere you were talking about, I want to say it was 2022. 2022. Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you remember when BBJO used to do like that day in the life series? Like
Oh yeah,
they'll they'll give like an import the BBJO login, and from like the BBJO account, the import would like on their phone like make stories like a day in the life kind of deal.
yeah.
I got the opportunity to do that on an away series in Atnak. So like I
Wow.
would, like start the morning. We had like a bus ride at like 6 a.m. I'm like, hey, good morning, guys. I'm yada 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 yada. I actually didn't end up going back to hard with the team. They let me stay in that container in the back because that night after our Bundesliga doubleheader, they had a Adnan Puchheim 30 plus 1 year reunion. Okay, so they were supposed to do it the year before, but couldn't because of COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
So they're like 30 plus 1, like we're doing it a year late type deal. So all the alumni of Atnan Puchheim, like the old timers game kind
Yeah.
sort of deal, they played that game like a 9 inning Legends game, and dude, it was awesome. So it was like the current athletics team and a couple of like the second division guys versus like the oldies, like the Burns and all of them. And Burns went yard. Burns went yard, but I remember that atmosphere was so nice. They're like, playing walk up songs, and there was a seventh inning stretch to this Sweet Caroline. The crowd was
Oh
starting to
yeah,
wave, and yeah, man, Adnan knows how to do it right.
dude. No, the so I was I was up to bat and I was catching too, but I was up to bat and the announcer would like say the count and it was like 2-0, right? No, and for you non-baseball players, 2 balls and no strikes is a great place to be in. When you're in the box, you can take some chances, you can be picky, da da da. So like step out the box, and the announcer goes 1-1. And then the then the umpire's like play like, oh no, hold on. It's 2-0. He was like, no, it's 1-1. And I was just like, no, it's 2-0. It, so we got into a little argument, and then I was like telling him the sequence, and he was like, oh yeah, you're right, you're right. So then after the game, I ran to the announcer and I was like, hey bro, you gotta stop saying the count because you wrong too many times, man. You almost costing me a strike. And he was like, dude, I'm just reading the scoreboard. I'm like, well, who's the scoreboard guy? And that's who I need to go find. He was just like, for his safety, I'd rather not say. I'm
So
like,
it
I just
just
want to
turned
talk
into a
to him. I
playing
just
game.
want to talk to him. No, but they go after it, man. I love it. And after I hit the home run against the Frogs, the next at bat, they like announce you. And when I was coming up to the plate, and he was like, number 14, the one, the only Troy Justice. And I was just like, wow, I gotta hit more home runs to get intros like this. And then after the game, one of the ex presidents, he was from Atlanta, but he's Swiss, and his wife is Swiss. And he was like, I was at the tiki bar, and he was like, I heard them announce you like the one, the only Troy Justice. And I'm like, who is this guy? I gotta go meet him. So
Man,
yeah, I love how they do it over there, man. Just those little things make it feel like you're playing back at home, man.
man, if anybody from Adnan Pukam is watching this, next year's Finkstonball, please announce him as Justice Imported, aka Justice Square Root of Seven.
Leave the square root of seven part out of it. I'm not even sure if I want to be a math teacher anymore. I think I'm gonna do science. That's what I got my degree in. But no, for it, no. I have a good Finkston ball suggestion. So well, in travel ball in the States, I'm not sure why this is a thing, but when you go to tournaments, the teams have like their own like lapel pins that you like put on your shirt or your tie or whatever, and they have like their logo and like where they're from or whatever. And you would like trade pins with the other players.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And in like high school sports, when you like win like a championship, they give you like a pin to go on like your Letterman jacket. What I think Finkstonball should do is that they should get little like Finkstonball pins for like the club that like wins the tournament, because we all can't take that big old wooden trophy home. And it'll be a nice like little keepsake, not too expensive, not too big that anybody can't put in the bag. So Finkstonball, championship pins, just a little Finkstonball logo with a champion in like gold or something. Get like 25 of them things, give them to the winners. Bring a little
And
Finkston home back home with you.
medal, maybe like Prague Baseball Week style, maybe a gold medal or
Let Prague do the medals. I think the pen is just the right amount of like casual travel ball, but a little keepsake to show that you climbed the mountain of Finkston ball.
dude. So I got like, friends I studied with in the States, they're like travel ball coaches now, and they be like posting pictures on Instagram of like winning a championship. Dude, travel ball gives out rings now.
Yeah, yeah. The big tournaments,
Think
they give the kids rings, which I think is absolutely nuts. But
Finkstonball ring.
see, I'm trying to keep it inexpensive. 25 pins. I'm
Okay.
sure you could get that for a decent price. I don't want to know how much the customer in there. You got to figure out the size and everything. Like, it's just a weekend tournament. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a great weekend tournament, but like, I feel like rings are for people that play like whole seasons.
You're right. You got a point
You
there.
got to earn that ring. If you're getting a ring after a weekend, I
No,
don't.
I'm just still butthurt about not being able to play in Prague Baseball Week. So the Prague Baseball Week gold medal that we won from 2022,
Yeah.
it was actually at that Old Timers Legends game because you know how I had to leave early as always because I had to go report back to my team. But we ended up winning the tournament. I was following you guys' championship run, even though I had to leave after like game 3 or 4. I was watching from our team bus, like, oh, they won it. Oh, they're singing, "Hey baby." But then what was awesome was Burns actually called me at like 11 or something while I'm on the bus traveling back to Hart. And all I hear is I heard Scooge screaming, and I knew it was Scooge right away. But in the midst of Scooge and Greeley and like everybody just going nuts in the back, he's like, "Hey, bud, I think you guys come to Atnang in 2 weeks. I got 3 medals for you, Hokuto, and Zeke." I'm like, Burnsy, my guy. So sure enough, 2 weeks later, like everything kind of came together because that was when he asked me to do the day in life thing. There was the Old Timers Legends game, and I got my gold medal. He even brought the trophy, dude. He even brought the PBW trophy with him.
Oh, that. Look at that. That's clutch. So you got to have your own little medal ceremony.
I did, I did. For the longest of times, dude. For the longest of times, it was actually my WhatsApp profile picture. I had the medal around me, and I had like a biting on it with the PBW trophy right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man.
But only complaint about that gold medal. Okay,
Okay.
it's still so my grandma that I live with in Japan, she made like a little I guess like shrine. We have like shrines in Japan, like where we have like pictures of our ancestors and stuff. Like that's like the family section. So in that family section is my PBW jersey with the gold medal around it. My All Star jersey from the French All Star game. I'll probably put that there on the shrine. But I came home last year, and sure enough, the shrine is still there, but the medal is like flipped over. So instead of having like the Prague Baseball Week logo showing, it showed the backside of the medal,
And it just says gold on it.
all caps, gold. I'm like, no, like how cheap does this look?
And that's why Finkstonball should get lapel pins.
Yeah, yeah. More that I think about it, pins.
Well, I mean, how do I say this? We all know that thing's not made out of gold. This is not the Olympics. But I guess it says gold because I mean, what else are they supposed to put on the back? First place or champions or
Nothing, nothing.
nothing? Just. I feel like it being blank saying nothing looks even cheaper.
Okay, maybe like the Prague Baseball Week logo on the front, maybe like the Czech Baseball Association logo on the back. I don't know.
You know that'd have been sick. That'd have been sick.
Better than gold.
Gold. Nah, because I keep it flipped over to the. But no, the next year we got second place, bro. I put them two medals next to each other. Actually, now that I think about it, what does the back of the second place one say?
Silver.
Probably. What I call my brother, I'm like, hey, go in my room, go on the shelf. What is that? What does this say on the back of that medal? Because now that I think about it, I'm not sure what it says.
I'm telling you, it's gonna say silver.
It probably do. I mean, it makes sense, but
Well,
yeah,
actually, as a matter of fact, this year's Prague Baseball Week at the end of this month, I'll be in Prague just because so many people are like coming to Prague to watch that stuff, and I'm
yeah,
actually housing a couple people here. One of them got an Airbnb, so I think we'll have like like a big sleepover there one of the nights. But we'll also go like check out the games and stuff. I
nice.
mean, the teams in it is what Germany, Czech, Austria. I think it was like Hungary or somebody, I forgot. But I mean, considering I know a decent amount of people on each of those national teams that's in the
Yeah,
tournament, oh, you know I'm gonna call them up like, yo, what does the back of your medal say?
yeah. We want to know what does the medal say for
We need to
2025
know.
on the
We need
back?
to know. I'll tell you what, whenever you post this on Instagram, the cover should be like whatever photo they send me, what the back of the medal is.
We need answers.
We do need answers. Man, at least they give out stuff though. Like
Yeah,
I've been parts of tournaments where like we never got anything. Like,
yeah.
well,
Like
did you guys get
well,
anything like in college and stuff or no?
I didn't win anything in college.
Okay, okay, fair. Well, because my first year of JUCO, we were conference champions, but I don't think we got anything.
When I was in high school, like I told you, we got the when we won the conference, we got the pen. So
But that was like for the Letterman jacket though.
yeah,
Okay, okay. That's an idea. That's another idea I'm kind of starting to think about because like that John was too expensive. I didn't have like a Leatherman's jacket like the varsity stuff. Like
yeah,
like the end of the year, you guys have like a little dinner and like you if it's like your first time, you get like the team like patch or whatever, and like
Yeah,
you could do this, you could do that. Imagine having one, but like for overseas.
I've actually been I wanted to make one of those when I first started, but I never got around to actually physically going to get the jacket made because you like you said, those things are not cheap, bro.
No, absolutely not.
Like my Letterman jacket in high school, I spent and I tried to do mine on the cheap and I still spent like 250.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I had friends spending like 300, 400 on theirs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen those before.
So yeah, I think I think this off season I'm gonna try to I'm gonna do the jacket. I got to.
That's your off season
Yeah,
project.
I'm gonna put the Prague baseball week and then the Finkstonball with the years on it. And I think I'm gonna put like a big J on it for Justice Imported and put my patch on there and maybe put some flags on the back for all the places I've been. That's the kind of design I've been working with over the
Ooh.
years.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I've had like a similar idea. I mean, I'm very, like I'm financially not there, so I couldn't do it. But like, I want to make my right arm like my import sleeve tattoo.
Oh,
I only have the hard bulls at the moment. I haven't had the chance to financially add any other ones, but like all the teams that I was an import for, I get like a logo of that. But then, like, I know some MLB guys, like Salvador Perez has like a tattoo of each Gold Glove that he won.
wow.
Yeah, a couple other guys have like a tattoo of like the World Series that they won, because you know how like the World Series logo changes every year. So
Yeah.
whichever one that they were in that they won, they'll get like the World Series logo on there. Like, but tattoos cost money, so.
Yes. Yes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Tattoos are not cheap, bro. How much did that hard bulls one cost? That was a pretty good size.
Oh, you'd be surprised, man. How much do you think it cost?
At least 150.
Oh no. Oh no.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
What where did you get it at?
In hard. Actually, Dornbirn. So shout out to Cello. Shout out to Cello, my go-to tattoo guy. He's also the one that did the tattoo on my leg, the Daruma, the big colorful one.
Yeah.
He's like best friends with like most of the people, like the parents of the Hard Bulls organization, and they all go to him for their tattoos. So I was like, hey, like I'm have this idea, like I want to get a Hard Bulls tattoo. They're like, oh, we know where to go. So they set everything up for me. They're like, just show up. I was like, you know how much it'll be? Like, yeah, maybe like 100. Like, no shot. It's gonna be a big one. And sure enough, Hundo right on the dot.
Whoa. Everybody about to be going to Dornburn and get tatted. Or maybe you got the friends
So
and family
shout
discount.
out to Cello. Got to promote his new tattoo shop. The shop that I used to go to is not in Dornbirn anymore. He relocated it to Bregenz, which is also right next to Hard.
Yeah.
I think it's called like Scorpion Tattoo Studio or something. Cannot miss Cello. He is a white Austrian dude who is pitch black because he has tattoos all over, including his eyeballs.
Scared of him.
Sweetest guy you will ever meet. Sweetest guy.
See, look, I if I stub my toe, I'm upset about it. But I couldn't imagine the pain you get from tattooing your eye.
That's
You
what I was
know?
saying too. But
That's gonna keep me up at night. Eye tattoo.
tattoo, bro. Man, we gotta have more tournaments like this, man. I'm
Dude,
telling you,
we
hey,
do.
baseball check. Let us back into freaking Park Baseball Week. Let us back in.
Dude, yeah, bro. Let it please.
Like, you know how clutch it would have been. Like, like I wouldn't have to like stay at the Panorama, but I'll make sure to come just for the breakfast, just for the croissant club.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, man. Well, I probably if I'd have went this year, if we were able to go this year, I would have had to leave early because I got a game on Sunday that
Oh, like the 30th or whatever.
yeah. So, but still, man, for the boys, that that year was crazy because we won the Finkstonball and then we won Prague Baseball Week. It were just like, dude, we're unstoppable.
Like in a span of 3 weeks too.
Yeah.
Because it was like the first week of June was Finkstonball. And man, I still remember the first conversation I had with you about that because we won the Finkstonball, and that's when like we were going on the same train together. And I think like as we're getting on the train, like we're saying our goodbyes to everybody. I'm like, "You're going to Prague, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, I heard about it. I signed up. How is it?" I was like, "Oh, you're not ready. You're not ready."
I was not ready.
And to be
Oh,
fair, that 2022 Prague Week, in my opinion, at least for the ones I've been a part of, that was hands down the best one. Hands down the best one. I mean, off
I
field shenanigans, similar to 21, but in terms of team chemistry, team unity, result, 22 can't beat it.
man,
Got
that
a gold medal that says gold on it.
bro, I felt like we could have that team could have beat anybody on earth.
Well, because who was it in the finals? It was Spain, right? Spain
Yeah,
and the
us in Spain.
and Spain's no joke.
They were
Like
no joke, bro. I
so, for
was sitting there
anybody who's
watching them
wondering,
warm up. I was like, oh my God.
yeah. So for the new people on here to kind of explain how the Spanish national team is, it's basically all the Venezuelans who couldn't beat out Altuve. They just got a Spanish passport and they're like, nope, we're gonna be España.
Yep. And they was not messing around, bro. Like that national team, they had I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not sure who these two guys were, but like you know the little nuances of like baseball etiquette, like the on deck guy gets the foul ball, or like the ball goes down the line, foul guy in the dugout go get it. No, Spain had two guys that did all of that stuff. Like if I was on deck and there was a foul ball behind there, the Spain guy was like, "No, I got it." Even though their team isn't even hitting, they had food laid out, gum, all like it was. They looked like the major leagues over there. I'm saying like, "Oh God, yeah." And then
Was it like a staff, like a ball boy, ball
yeah,
girl, or
it
was it
was
like a player
no,
that did it?
it was like an adult. Like they had on Spain everything, and like they were like the clubby, but like the ball boy and the bat guy all like into one.
So there wasn't a player.
No,
Okay, okay,
definitely
okay.
not a player. No,
Dang,
yeah, they was like that.
man, that's crazy. I almost qualified too. I almost qualified, but you know, speaking of qualifying, you know how we were talking about connecting dots?
Yeah,
So at the All Star game, we have two South African brothers that play in our league, Tyler and Brandon Smith. Both of them got chosen for the All Star game, and after the game, I wanted to get a picture with everybody. And I was like, "Hey, man, can I get like sandwiched between the brothers and get a picture?" And they're like, "Oh no, sure things, mate." And I'm taking it. I'm like, "I'm gonna send it to Dean Jacobs," and like we're like cheesing, we're getting ready for the picture, and I'm like, "I'm gonna send this to Dean Jacobs," and they both look at me. They're like, "Wait, how do you know him?" I was like, "Yo, he was on our podcast a couple weeks ago." He goes, "No way, I'm gonna check that out." So then, like right there, after we take the picture, they're like, "Man, where can we find your podcast?" I'm like, "It's either on YouTube, but we also posted like teaser clips on Instagram." And that's where I gained two new followers, by the way. The brothers follow me, but they're like, "No way, mate, that is Dean."
well, look at that,
Yeah, the dots connected.
man. It's the dots connected, dude. So yeah, man. We European baseball gets imports from literally everywhere.
Literally.
America, Canada, Japan, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. Am I missing anywhere?
I would say pretty much every country that plays baseball, there's got
Oh
to be a
yeah. Oh
sport. Like,
no, Dominican Republic. I think India had a couple people that were Venezuelan.
yeah.
Yeah, like everywhere.
And every country will also have Euro imports too, like Europeans from different countries.
Yeah. That was another thing that threw me. Like when I was playing in Germany, we had an import guy that was from Lithuania. My boy Will, shout out to Will. Yeah, like good players from countries that where baseball may not be the best, but they can hang. They go be imports somewhere else because they don't need no visa because they're
The
European.
Europeans. And anybody watching this, check your heritage. If you got European heritage, get a passport.
Dude, cheat code right there.
Cheat code. This was a good one. This was a good one. At the end of the day, baseball wins.
Can't beat baseball, baby.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been another episode of Imported Athletes and Travel Podcast from my boy Yodai Nakamura. Good night. Hit the ball, hit the road, be import.